Hi, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by SMS Law, going through the legal secrets that will benefit you and your clients, as well as having a little bit of fun as we go. This podcast is designed to educate you on, number one, complicated legal terms that we will explain in an easy to understand manner. Two, to understand why you do things from a legal perspective in your business. And three, to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Our mission is to help empower small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time that it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. This podcast is all about empowering you and your business with knowledge and tools to ensure that that doesn't happen to you or to your clients. Let's begin, shall we?
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Brisbane Professional Podcast. I am Craig Mason, and I have with me the one and only Jeremy Stratton. Say hello everyone, please, Jeremy.
Thanks, Craig, and it's nice to know that I'm unique.
Indeed, you are. Today we wanted to speak about setting up your structure for your business and just go through the different structures, some advantages, trusts, those sorts of things, just so you got the correct structure for your business, because it's pretty important to get it right at the beginning, because it is sometimes difficult to change in the future. So, Jeremy, what are we actually talking about? What are the business structures available?
Yeah, so there's a few different ones, Craig, as you know, and I'll just go through them briefly, and then you can have a chat about what the advantages and disadvantages of them are. So, first one's a sole trader. That's where you trade the business in your own name. So that might be John Smith trading as Smith's Fish and Chips, and that's just you trading as that business. You can also enter into a partnership. So you could have John Smith and Bill Smith, I don't know, I'm terrible with names, but it's trading as Smith's Fish and Chips, and those two people are in a partnership together to run that business. Then you can also have a company. So a company is a separate legal entity where there is a director who has day-to-day control of the company and runs it, and there are shareholders who own the assets of the company and own the company itself. So they're the main ones. You can also have a trust. So a discretionary trust can also run a business as well. So there's all different types of structures that you can have. So do you want to start off maybe talking about the advantages and disadvantages of sole traders, partnerships, and companies, Craig?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were Bill Smith trading as Smith's Fish and Chips as a sole trader, then it's an inexpensive way to operate. So it's simple, easy to set up, easy to maintain, and cheap, essentially. And you have, as Bill Smith, complete control over the management, direction. You own all the profits, etc. However, the disadvantages of a sole trader are, just like you're getting all the profits, you're also liable for all the debts, and you personally. And then, therefore, your assets in your own name, like your house or your vehicle or whatever it might be attacked if something happened to your business. From a tax point of view, you pay it on the personal income marginal tax rates, which may be higher than companies, for instance. So they're probably the main disadvantages. There are also issues, I guess, with expansion. It's harder to expand in the sense that you can't, add another director or shareholder in a company. Yeah. Then in partnerships, so Bill and Betty Smith trading as Smith's Fish and Chips. Again, they're easy and less expensive to set up. You're combining the resources of two different people to come in, and it's relatively straightforward from that point of view, compliance-wise going forward. Disadvantages are that you're all personally liable for the business debts again. So same with the sole trader. You need to be careful of that. All the partners obviously are involved, so you need to make sure you've got someone that you get along with, because it can be a disadvantage if you don't. And it's harder to transfer ownership as well from a continuity point of view. And tax, again, is likely to be more than company. And then the company, which is probably the most popular structure, together with a trust or combination of the two. The advantages are that all the agreements and everything are in the company's name, not you as an individual, not as a director. There are ways that you might have to enter into personal guarantees, for instance. And then from that structure point of view as well, you can bring more people into the business, shareholder-wise, and the tax rate for a company is, at least in Australia, less than the individuals. Disadvantages, it is quite regulated, the structure, more expensive to maintain and comply, a lot more rules to follow, those sorts of things. There might be reasons that you'll have to sign personal guarantees as well, because a lot of companies aren't worth anything. So lenders, landlords, that sorts of things will need personal guarantees because the company's probably not, or doesn't have the means to be able to meet the debt, so there'll be personal guarantees. I think that's probably a good summary. Probably a bit too long, but anyway.
I don't think it's too long. I think it's important that our listeners and viewers understand those disadvantages and advantages when they're making their decision. So
Yeah,
it's good.
Absolutely. And then, so Jeremy, trusts, where do they fit into all this?
Yeah, so trusts, as I said before, they can be used as another vehicle that you can run your business through. They have a trustee who should be, if you're trading a business, should always be a company as the trustee, because they run the business and it's primarily liable for all the debts. You should never have an individual person as trustee for a trust that's trading a business. So one of the advantages with that is that it does also have the separation, if it's structured correctly, of the person behind the business with the business itself. Another advantage is tax planning. So you can use a trust to really distribute your income legally in a tax effective way. So doing tax planning, we're not talking about tax evasion or avoidance. It's tax planning. Trusts are very handy units in Australia, especially to do that, to plan out. The disadvantages is it's more costly and it's more complicated. We have clients and we know people who have hundreds of trusts for some of their structures. Like, it's ridiculous. But that's setting them up properly to distribute their income and to get the best tax position for themselves. So whilst they are complicated, getting a good accountant and a good lawyer to look over them is really the solution to that problem. The only other issue really is that some people get scared of trusts and they think you might be trying to hide assets when you're trading with them. As long as you're open and honest with what your structure is and what it's about, that shouldn't be a problem either. So that's in brief the advantages and disadvantages of a trust. Craig, do you want to talk about when people should seek legal advice on this topic?
Yeah, so we've sort of touched on that throughout what we've been saying, and the best time to get legal advice about structuring is before you put it in place. Trying to unravel things can be difficult, not impossible, but difficult and a lot of times costly. So before you enter into the business, you need to be talking to your advisors, accountant, lawyer, etc., about what's going to be the best structure, what's your short to long term future look like in terms of the business, because that can dictate what entity or structure you have. If it's a sort of a side hustle, then that could be different to you're buying an existing business, for instance, about what structure should that be in. So important to get that advice at the beginning. And if you're unsure and you've already done it, then you can get that advice throughout and change things depending on what it is. But as we always say on the show, important to get your advisors involved as soon as you can to make sure that it fits into what you want now and what you want in the future. All right, Jeremy, anything else about trusts and companies and all that jazz.
No, I think we've covered that. I think our listeners and viewers have a good understanding now of what they need to do.
Cool. All right. Important topic. Definitely something you need to have a look at when you're setting up your business. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or want to engage with us, please jump on the SMS Law Facebook page and like that. Follow us on Twitter, search for us on LinkedIn. And just as a final favour, if you enjoyed the podcast, then please rate and review. I think it's five stars, I think. The podcast, leave some comments, and get the podcast out there. And as I said, got any questions, please get in touch. We'll be back again next time.
Thanks very much.